Hello everybody, so hopefully the video that I sent today was good and explained all the stuff that we did with law of sines, law of cosines. So now I'm going to show you angles of elevation, depression. So essentially these are just like word problems and you've already kind of done them. Quick little refresher. Sine is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent is equal to opposite over adjacent. Okay, so based off of what you have here, you'll determine essentially what to do. So let's say I'm standing right here. I'm looking at a nice tree, palm tree. Okay, the palm tree is 100 feet away from me. So I'm looking at it. So something that we're dealing with angles of elevation, angles of depression, something called the line of sight. I'm looking up at the tree. That's my line of sight. So if I'm looking up at something, that's going to be angles of elevation. If something is going down, that's going to be an angle of depression. And we'll talk about that one later. So I'm looking up at the tree. And the angle that I'm looking up at the tree is, let's say, 46 degrees. Question is, how tall is the tree? So look what we have. We've got this angle, we have an opposite side, and we've got an adjacent side, right? We don't have the hypotenuse. So this is right triangle trig. So opposite over adjacent, that gives me tangent. So now I will do tangent of 46 degrees is equal to the opposite. I don't know, so let's just call it T for tree. And it's over 100 feet. So to figure out my T, I'm gonna multiply both sides by 100. So I'll do that with my calculator really fast. So tangent of 46 times 100 will give you an answer of 103.553. So the tree is going to be 103.553 feet. With these, it's important to label your units. Okay, that's it for that one. We'll call this example 1. Example 2. Let's say I am flying in a plane. Okay. So I'm flying in a plane, and the goal is to drop off a package right here. Okay, and again, if I'm kind of on the plane right here, line of sight. Okay, that's my line of sight. So let's say I am, let's say this distance right here is 1,000 meters, and this distance right here is 300 meters. Okay, so it's not drawn to scale. The angle of depression, you have to remember something from geometry. So if you remember in geometry, it's transversal, right? This angle is the same as this angle, alternate interior angles. Same concept here. Technically, I've got this horizontal line right here, and so my angle of depression is actually right here, in between these two. But because of alternate interior angles, I can say that, okay, since these two lines are parallel, right, this is technically the horizon or whatever, and this is the ground. Since these two lines are parallel, this angle is the same as this angle. So I'm really just trying to find this angle right here, which means I can use the triangle that I have drawn. So these two are the same. So the angle of depression is here, but it's right here as well. So now I look again. Okay, I've got this angle. I've got the side right next to it, so that's the adjacent. And I've got the hypotenuse. So adjacent and hypotenuse, that's going to be cosine. So we'll do cosine. We don't know my angle. Adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay, so once we do that, so 300 divided by 10,000, right? If you think of essentially doing mental math, right? Okay, so 3/10, so 0.3. So we'll have cosine of theta is equal to 0.3. And then to find the angle, just like with law of sines and law of cosines that we did, we do the inverse. So we do inverse cosine. So in your calculator, you type cosine inverse of 0.3, and you'll get an answer of 72.54. So that is the angle of depression. Again, angle of depression is essentially from the line of sight, right? So if I'm here, I'm looking down at this area that I have to get to. So that is my angle of depression. Here I was at the tree, I have to go up, so that's my angle of elevation, okay? And that's essentially it. So what I'm assigning for your homework, and you can start it during the class period as well, and also feel free to shoot me an email if you've got any questions. Your homework is just gonna be a bunch of different word problems. So let's say it's gonna say, you know, there's a kid flying a kite and the kite is, you know, 50 feet up in the air. So let's do a problem like that. Okay. So let's say I'm flying a kite, right? So I'm right here. And the kite is 50 feet higher than my head. Okay. So actually, let's just say it's 50 feet from the ground. Okay, so here's the kite flying. Here's the string that I'm holding it to. Okay. Here's this. And we know this part right here is 50 feet. Let's say, so I'm 6'1", but just for funsies, we'll say 6 feet. Okay. So I'm 6 feet tall, this is 50 feet. So really, the height of the actual triangle right here is gonna be 50 minus 6, which will give you 44. So really this part right here is gonna be 44 feet. And then let's say I am trying to figure out what angle I'm flying the kite. Again, I'm looking up at the kite. So let's say this is 44 feet, right? This bar right here. And let's say this is 500 feet. So the kite's far away. So if I'm trying to find this, again, you're looking, okay, I've got an opposite side, and I've got the hypotenuse. So opposite of hypotenuse is sine. So you'll do sine of theta is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So you're going to do 44 divided by 500, and then you're going to do inverse sine of 44 divided by 500. And so your final answer will be 5.04. So theta is equal to 5.04 degrees. Okay? So this was essentially example 3. Okay? So there you go. Okay, that's it. Have a great day.